But we also wanted to talk about Google for a little bit.
Of course.
Now, there's a variety of Google stuff to talk about. We obviously have seen a long history of Google messaging services over the years.
We have.
So I saw this headline, and we just added it to the Waveform Slack just because we wanted to come back to this. But it is yet another Google messaging app.
Yeah. Sort of, yeah.
What is it? So it's Gmail calls now.
Yeah, so it's essentially like a Google Meet video call, but you can do it straight from the Gmail. I'm assuming in browser. They're doing like a Gmail redesign, right?
Right.
So it's a way to make video calls basically from Gmail. So you can do it straight in the app, even though I believe it's using Google Meets as like the platform for it. So they're not like making a new platform. But in Gmail, you can make the call straight in the Gmail app, so you're not switching out of things, or like in an email thread. They're trying to be like Outlook.
Yeah, it's barely different from Google Hangouts already.
But just for a little fun here, we know there's been a million Google messaging apps. I mean, it's like a joke. I want to see how many you can name. Now, there are about 15, I believe.
15.
11 of them. So it's like they have SMS, they have email, and they have like video conferencing. They also have like a couple, they just called them collaborations with some other messaging things. I won't be that upset if you don't get those, but I just want to see,
messaging inside of Google Slides, Google PowerPoint, Google Sheets.
Pretty much, yeah. Google Docs chat is one of them, which is like, okay, I have them in the document, but they're highlighted black right now. I'm worried if I highlight these, you'll see them. So let's just tip this a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to see how many you can get.
So active or all time?
Ever. No, because how many are active? Actually, if you could even name if they're active, I can't.
Because we had
no way of confirming that.
Yeah. I was just thinking of like Google Buzz and Google Plus. Okay. So I know we have Google Messenger on my phone. That's your SMS app. We have Google Hangouts. Also on my phone.
Okay.
I also have Google Duo and Google Allo.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if both of those still work. I think Duo still works. Allo, not so sure.
Okay.
Then we have, Google Meet is the video conferencing app, kind of like Zoom.
Yep.
It's already 5. You should be done. But now there's this
you're missing the most popular one.
Chat?
Which is, just think about like, it's what we just talked about.
The new phone call thing in Gmail, like GChat?
No, it's just Gmail.
Oh, Gmail.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a messaging. You know that. Yeah.
Okay, messaging app, sure. Mm-hmm. So Gmail, that's already 6.
And you said Google Chat, right?
Yeah, Google Chat. So Hangouts and Google Chat and Gmail are all in the same window at the same time next to each other, which is hilarious. Google Buzz and Google Plus were kind of... Google Plus was a social network. Google Buzz was kind of... What was Google Buzz?
I don't even see Google Buzz in here from what I have.
I think that was also a social network, so I won't count it.
Yeah, but Google Plus is a little harder because Google Plus had certain things in it.
Oh, God.
Which is...
it had messaging. You could message people in Google Plus.
I have 3 different Google Plus apps listed here that are all different messaging things.
So
you remember any of them?
I don't know what they're called, but in your profile, you could message someone in Google Plus, and it wasn't Gmail. It was inside of Google Plus messaging, I guess. There's also YouTube, by the way, which used to have a messaging system.
Fair. Yeah, that's not listed here.
Oh, my God.
So I have Google Plus Huddle.
Oh, yeah.
One's called Google Plus Hangouts, which I'm assuming just kind of turned into regular Hangouts, or if Hangouts was already...
Hangouts was already a thing.
This Verge article I'm looking at has Hangouts and Google Plus Hangouts.
Wow. Okay.
And then I also have Google Plus Circles, which that is just the regular, like, kind of like a Facebook wall.
That was the mechanism for talking to groups of people in certain parts of your Google Plus network.
Okay. So like a Facebook group more so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Wow. So Google Docs chat. Good job on that one. That was one I didn't think.
Because we use that one.
We do.
It's over here on the side.
We use the note system. Yeah, I guess we never use the chat too much. So we said there's something called Google Talk. Google Voice, they consider.
Oh, yeah, I have Google Voice.
Google Voice can be SMS. You said Google Messages. I have Android Messages, but same thing. Yeah. Google Wave.
Oh, Wave.
I don't even remember.
That's
I've never
also
heard
dead
of that.
and old. Yeah, that was a thing they tried.
And then there's just also the original Google Chat, GChat, pre-Hangouts.
Turned into Hangouts, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I used to talk to everyone on Google. GChat was the best when you were like at work because you had your email open, but you were still talking. So like,
it was in the corner.
If your boss came in, it's like, oh, he's just got his email up. He's definitely doing work. And then there's like 3 messages like lighting up in the bottom.
like,
You're like,
ding,
don't see
ding,
that, don't
ding,
see
ding.
that. But yeah.
Classic.
So that was fun. You did really good.
There's a lot, and I feel like I've used probably half of them. And it's like every time Google builds a new thing, it's like, is this going to be dead in a year, or should I stop?
You've used half of them, but I bet in your head they're all scrambled into one messaging app pretty much, yeah.
I mean, like I said, you open the Gmail window and there's Gmail in front of you, but also you can have Google Voice open in the side. You can have Google Chat and their Hangouts in the bottom, and then you can have Google Meet pop up right in front of you with an invite. It's everywhere.
And was it Allo or Duo first? I think it was Allo first.
Allo is the text and Duo is the videos.
Oh, I thought Allo had video as well. Allo was, I think, the first I.O. I went to. And I remember being like, oh my God, FaceTime for Android.
Right, because every time they come up with one, you're thinking like, this is going to be iMessage. Yeah, you're like, this is going to be the universal messaging app. The myth of the universal messaging app. You always think they're going to do it, and they get halfway there, and then it dies. The closest I think they ever really got to that was they pushed Hangouts for a little bit, and Hangouts was an app you could use to text people over the internet and make video calls and make voice calls, and it was like you could use Hangouts for everything on your phone, but not everybody used the Hangouts app on their phone. People on their iPhones didn't install Hangouts, so it was like it never really got there.
This was always my thing with doing that is, to me, like I was talking to people in GChat and like Hangouts, but it was so much different than how I was talking to people in text messages. So I never liked having them in the same list of things, because the GChat or Hangouts was, people were always talking in it because there were groups of like 10, 15 people, where my text message to me was people like specifically trying to get in contact with me, or my wife or my mom or my sister or something like that. And I don't know, I never liked them all together. I still have my separate messages app, like text messages, which I know a lot of people outside the US is like not really a big thing.
Yeah, I've used WhatsApp a lot more because I've been working with people in Europe, and they all just use WhatsApp and it's easy. But yeah, it's kind of just like in the US, people just use iMessage. Like they just use their text messaging app to talk to other people, which is kind of why it's so crazy that they've made so many. But speaking of Google services, YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube's a pretty big service. You kind of, when you think about YouTube and then the sheer numbers that YouTube does, kind of feels unbeatable, right? It's the second biggest search engine in the world, next to Google, who owns them. So they're very plugged into each other. Billions of hours of video are watched and uploaded every month. It's just this crazy, massive, self-feeding, unbeatable video machine. Huge catalog, incredible search engine. But there's one key thing that they're just getting beat on as of right now, which is in watch time on mobile phones. TikTok,
Android phones,
on Android mobile phones, TikTok just overtook YouTube in average watch time, which is interesting. And can we pull up the exact details on that? Because is that like session launch time?
Kind of. Is it what?
Session watch time or monthly?
It is monthly. So I can explain it a little better to kind of get an idea here. So it is on Android phones, although I bet you between Android and iPhone probably is almost exactly the same. I don't think anyone on Android is using one or the other more or less often. I think people just in general are using YouTube and TikTok how they're supposed to use. It doesn't matter what phone you're on. But that does have a difference. TikTok is like 99% mobile. YouTube is like 70% mobile. So there is a little difference here. But so average watch time over 1 month right now in the US, YouTube, the average user on YouTube watches approximately 22 hours of content per month. And that has been like completely steady. So the graphs they showed were from December 2019 to June 2021. And it started at 22 hours and it ended at 22 hours in that graph. It fluctuated a little down to 21, up to like 24, but it pretty much is at 22. TikTok, December 2019 was at 16 watch hours per month and rose all the way up to 24 watch hours per month. So they have just been, I mean, we know TikTok's going crazy. But
so the average has risen up from 16 to 24.
Yeah.
Watch hours per month. So many fascinating things about that. Just I'm such a big numbers person, and stats always are like the thing that I like digging into. So number one, how many hours of TikTok do you think you watch every month? And when I think about TikTok, it's really easy to get lost and just sit there mindlessly scrolling, and then it's been half an hour and you just didn't do anything for half an hour. And I wonder how much that adds up. YouTube actually used to, it might still show you in the app how many hours you've watched. And I know for a fact I watch more YouTube than TikTok.
I know I watch more YouTube also.
But the number of TikToks that I've watched per month has definitely averaged higher and higher over the last couple of
I mean, if you're counting individual TikToks, I watch more single TikTok videos than YouTube videos for sure.
That's the other number I'm so curious about is like TikToks are 3 minutes long tops. Most of them are a couple seconds long. How many different things did you just consume versus the YouTube videos? Like YouTube videos are, I mean, the ones we make are 10, 12, 15 minutes long. I'd say an
average has to be like 8 at least for the majority of YouTube videos.
Yeah. And not everybody watches the whole video from front to back, but I'm just thinking the amount of stuff is way higher on TikTok. And that's kind of by design. It's like the short attention span gets that instant gratification cycle over and over. Lots of small hits of dopamine instead of one big one, basically. But then the last one is if the way I just think about this stat, the average watch hours have gone from 16 to 24. That means that there are a lot of people who are watching more than 24 hours of TikTok every month. There's only 30 days in a month. There's people probably watching 30 hours a month. That's an hour of TikToks every day. That's so many TikToks.
It's a lot.
If they're 30 seconds each, that's an insane amount of TikToks.
Yeah.
Of different things that you're watching. Like, you got to be spending so much time in that app. And this is, at the end of the day, the thing that I know YouTube's after. We always, if you talk to other creators, they're always talking about the algorithm and the mysteries behind it and the sort of opacity of knowing what YouTube's trying to do on the platform. But the one thing I feel like I always know is they're always trying to get people to spend more time on the site. The more time you spend on YouTube, the more ads you watch, the more you consume, the more money they make. So generally, no matter what they're doing, you can assume they want you to spend more time on YouTube.com.
Yeah.
And that is something that they're losing to.
YouTube has to look at this and think like, okay, they're TikTok's figuring it out. Why don't we figure it out? And we have videos that are longer and have a better chance at keeping you on that long.
Right. So we have YouTube Shorts now, which is like this is a real thing. Like they clearly made it as a response to TikTok, and they've built the carousel and they have their algorithms, and you can spend time scrolling 30-second videos just like TikTok. You can do that now on YouTube. But the fact that TikTok is just that, and its algorithm has gotten so good that people spend time in that app and not YouTube Shorts, and they stay there for 30 hours in a month, says so much to me about how good TikTok's algorithm is and how massive that site has become. The funny part is, as a creator at the end of the day, the content strategist inside me is like, that doesn't make me want to become a TikToker. Like, I see a lot of people on Twitter just being like, oh, so Marquez, you're going to pivot to TikTok now, huh? You're going to have to chase those views on TikTok. It's like, no. Most people who are blowing up on TikTok, which is happening to a lot of people, end up migrating to YouTube anyway.
The money making because in other spots.
All of the other systems are in place on YouTube. It's the most stable. It's the most monetizable. It's the most valuable.
You don't see TikTokers making a Substack or anything. It's
or if they do, they went to YouTube first. So, and you also hardly see it. I mean, you see it the other way around, like people on YouTube going, oh, wow, okay, TikTok's blowing up. We should make more short form stuff. We should make YouTube Shorts. We should make TikToks. And you go over there, but you don't see them leaving YouTube behind to jump to TikTok.
It's to get more publicity.
It's to bring people back to YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's what I see in all these numbers. It's just like this trend is crazy.
I mean, I think, like you said, the algorithm on TikTok is insanely good. It's just like, it is so impressive to me watching things that I don't think I've ever like thought about, like change my like habits on using TikTok to make it think that I would like that more. And then it's just sending me stuff that I find more and more entertaining every time. It is like at the point where I almost feel like TikTok is like an AI company, and they just have like
100%
the absolute best
100%.
Algorithm for stuff like
That's
that.
what it
and
is.
It's crazy.
I was talking to someone recently about TikTok, and they're like, Marquez, do you watch TikToks at all? I was like, yeah, I watch TikToks. And they're like, I tried, and then it was like one day of like teenagers dancing, and I couldn't take it anymore, and I left. I was like, if you get past the one day of like the most generic TikToks of all time, it will learn you so fast. Yeah. Like you pass the one day, you make a new account, and it's like it learns from everything you skip everything you pause to watch the whole thing, everything you watch twice, everything you like, comment on, engage with, everything you do is instructing that algorithm on how can we make you stay here longer. And that learns you so fast. It's gonna pull things from all over the site.
Fluctuates like so often, and it's like it's following it. I don't even know if I like the things anymore. TikTok's telling me to start liking these things. It's just at a point where it constantly keeps you in. I think my main TikTok use is I lay down in bed and I want to watch like 10 minutes, and I watch more and more all the time. And it's just like sometimes it's really hard to put down.
I usually want to like aggressively put down the phone once I watch a good one.
That's what I always say, one more good one.
Yeah.
One more good one.
Got to end on a good one. Yeah, it's hard. There's a lot of good ones out there. Now, another interesting number I'm seeing in this article, this is a Verge article, we'll link in the show notes. YouTube has 2 billion monthly active users.
Oh yeah, YouTube's still bigger.
A lot. But that's why it's so interesting. TikTok has 700 million compared to that 2 billion, but those 700 million are spending a higher average amount of time.
Yeah.
So the total number of hours will be less for TikTok, but the average per user is now higher.
Yeah.
So as TikTok continues to grow, it will probably approach YouTube in that total number. I don't know when it'll approach YouTube. I don't have the context. I wish I had like the chronological number of totals. But yeah, average per user is pretty impressive. Now they'll be focusing on like, Instagram has got to be looking at this like, we made Reels. Why are people not spending 30 hours a month scrolling through Reels?
Yeah, Instagram's definitely a closer competitor. You were just talking about YouTube Shorts, and I don't think I've ever heard a single person or seen a single person looking through YouTube Shorts. I only ever see them when they're just in my subscription box as someone I follow posted one. I still hate that is like part of the same ecosystem together.
It's weirdly mixed in, yeah. No, I've scrolled through Instagram Reels mindlessly for a little bit. They're not as they seem like they're kind of siloed. Like it seems like I mostly get car reels, tech reels, and that's kind of it, I guess.
I get all rock climbing ones.
And it seems like they're very specific, where like TikTok's more willing to like plug you into more things for fun because it's only 12 seconds. Like if you don't like it, the next one will be another rock climbing one. Like we'll just try other stuff on you. Yeah. And when it finds more of those things, then it's able to feed you more and more because, hey, we've got a whole new library of all of these like truck TikToks that you might like. It's just out there. Hey, thanks for watching this clip. It's Techtember, so you know what that means. There's a lot more coming.
There's a lot more coming.
That's what that means. And it's all good stuff. Like we could say there's a lot more coming in February and it wouldn't really mean as much. When we say there's a lot more coming in September, it's all good stuff. So get subscribed.
Please
hit the button.
Do it up right now.